Yeah, I'll always be a metalhead. Nothing can take that away from me.
Right.
I mean, not jail, not people, not religion, not anything. I'll always be a metalhead. Metalhead leaves you all alive.
You're listening to the Great Metal Debate Podcast.
Welcome back to the Great Metal Debate Podcast, bringing you another amazing metal album review. Today, we'll be checking out the new full-length release from Danish folk metal crew Vansind, titled Hævnen, to be released May 1st by Mighty Music. But before we get into the review, a reminder to like, subscribe, and share all our content on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you might find us. And join in the metal debate by following us and commenting on Facebook, Instagram, and X. We'd love to hear from you. Hævnen is Vansind's second full-length album, preceded by Makur in 2023. The Heathens in Vansind include two guitarists, a bassist, drummer, two vocalists, one male harsh growler and a female providing clean singing, plus one other member managing all the assorted additional instruments such as keyboards, bagpipes, and tin whistle, probably some others I'm forgetting. Generally speaking, this band's brand of folk metal is pretty moderate in the sense that while the folk instruments are definitely present, they don't bash the listener over the head with them. All the lyrics are sung in Danish, or at least I assume as much, as I'm not a Danish speaker, giving their music a very strong European feel in the vocal delivery. I'll go ahead and say up front that I've listened to this album almost daily since I first received a promo copy, and it's continued to impress as I've grown more and more familiar with the songs. So I'll spoil the review right up front by saying I'm a big fan of this album, and my review is going to be incredibly positive. To that end, let's run through all the 7 tracks. The album begins with De Største Offer, which has a haunting instrumental intro, including some gorgeous pipe work, then transitioning into a mid-tempo, brutally melodic composition. I adore everything about this track. The lilting background cleans, the harsh versing, the ever-so-slight tempo adjustment on the chorus. This one isn't really a banger that will bowl you over, but it is quite epic with plenty of aggression, a touch of doominess, and plenty of folk flavor. I definitely see this being a set opener for Vansind going forward, and one that will have the crowd rowdy from the outset. A touch on the long side, clocking in at over 9 minutes, but there's not much wasted effort in this one. Track 2 is Al Wild, which the band has put out as a video ahead of the album release. More up-tempo than De Største Offer, but still fairly moderate in its pace, this one has a nice rhythm to add to the really great chorus. The pipes are used economically, but definitely are a highlight, and the entire effort is grand as the vibe leaps from melancholic to triumphant. The Rock and Blood Hævnen may be my fave song on the album. God, do I love the melody here and the way this one builds, the percussion doing a lot of the subtle work to create that sense. Here, in contrast to the first 2 tracks, we get clean vocals on the verses and growls for the chorus. There's kind of a false climax to this one that's really effective in extending and resetting the listener's expectation as you move through. It's very catchy and musically interesting in its own way. Just a brilliant piece of songwriting. De Sidste No Diskus, another track released as a single in advance of the album release, brings a bit of a jig-like melody, but also at times a bombastic atmosphere. Here we have perhaps the best interplay between the male and female voice, with the female singer raising her game and range, while the male's blackened growl brings a powerful and eerie quality. This one gives a great sense of what this band is trying to accomplish musically. Next up is a thigh-slapping I Yggdrasil Skugga. As much as any of the tracks on this album, this one displays a fantastic hybrid of sorrowful lamenting and righteous anger from both the vocals and instrumentation. The keys are a bit more on display in the mix here, and we get one of the best guitar lead breaks as well. It's really a beautiful, effective cacophony of singing and folk and other instruments fighting for the listener's attention. Trossen fra Diva is an absolute banger, with some of the most gravelly rasps on the verses and a glorious vocal melody on the chorus. Incredibly memorable, without any hint of hooky commercialism. I really appreciate how this track is clearly divided into several pieces with very different feels, yet Vansind masterfully weave them into a single cohesive result. A fantastic listen from beginning to end. The album concludes with a skillfully melodic march, Skapkens Tung Vai. It's a cathartic number that really leans heavily on the bagpipes for the heavy atmosphere. Overall, I'm just super impressed with Vansind and the quality of these catchy and memorable tracks on Hævnen. My list of grievances on this release are very few and not particularly strongly felt. I did think some of the transitions between male harsh and female clean vocals were a bit too formulaic and expected, and would mark a better compositional interplay of these elements as a growth area for this band in the future. And to be honest, this isn't a band that is going to wow you either with supreme singing from either vocalist or superhuman skill from the instrumentalist. They've just written great folk-infused heavy metal songs. And here, the sum is much greater than the parts. The songwriting and delivery in Hævnen is so impactful. There's just a strong development of contrasting, if not overly complex sections at play throughout the record, but presented in a way that always emphasizes the fundamentally melodic nature of the material. And that's where Vansind really makes their mark. Those melodies are super powerful and very effective. Never overused, just spooned out efficiently. And the songs seem to fly by so quickly on listen, despite most being in the 5+ minute range. There have been a few good folk metal releases this year, and I expect more will come. With Hævnen, Vansind are definitely contenders for Album of the Year in the folk metal subgenre, and likely have secured a place on my best albums for the year of 2026. I'm giving Hævnen a 9 out of 10 rating. Hævnen from Vansind is released by Mighty Music on May 1st. Check it out. I can't recommend it enough. You can purchase the album via mightymusic.dk, Bandcamp, and other places you know to find quality metal music.